I can never understand the psychology of Mohammedans, notably called Muslims. Mohammedans are very peculiar and strange people. And I say this because I've never known a religion where everybody is forced to speak the language, even though they can't understand it. You know, they're forced to speak the language. And also they must have a beard, because Muhammad had a beard, you know, and imitate everything that Muhammad did. If you ask a Muslim, do you want me to follow Muhammad? They would say yes. Do everything that Muhammad did? They would say yes. Even though 7th century values is not the same as today. You see, you cannot claim that Muhammad is the last prophet, even though he did not come from the lineage of Isaac, you know, but through the lineage of Ishmael, you know. So for him being a prophet is sort of ridiculous, you know. However, you know, because no prophet came from the lineage of Ishmael, it was through Isaac, you know. But they wouldn't understand that, they're too illiterate. However, what I find quite interesting is that they want to bring back 7th century cultural values. Okay, hence why the women are told to cover up. You have Sharia law, which is based on 7th century values. And you say to these Muslims, are you prepared to follow Muhammad? They said yes. So everybody who gets converted to Islam, you have to have a beard, look ugly like a werewolf, you have a beard, you know, and you speak in Arabic, you know, which is ridiculous. You have to abandon your name and get a Muslim name. To me, that sounds a bit racist. You know, it's almost similar to when Africans were slaves and they thought that the African name was savagery and gave them English name, so they became white property. Islam still practices this property consciousness where when you become Muslim, you have to have a Muslim name. It's almost like you become their bitch, you know, they become your pimps. You know, it's quite horrible when you think about the context of what Islam is really about. Why can't I speak the language I speak now? Why do I have to change my name to a Muslim name? And this is what has happened with black people who become Muslims. Because they've been told, oh, you know, you got a white man's name, you got a white man's name. So these idiots, they say, okay, I'll end up with an Arab slave master's name. This is how sick people are when they refuse to look back into history and really understand that in 7th century North Africa was invaded by Muslims. The reason why we have Muslims in Africa is because it went there by the power and the sharpness of the sword, with threats of violence. That's why Islam is in Africa. But obviously a lot of these blacks, they don't read, and they don't want to read. They just want to get back at white people. So it serves their purpose. So they end up with Muslim names. But how far do you want to copy Muhammad? How far? When in Quran 2:191, it says, slay the unbelievers wherever you find them. Are you going to start slaying people? Or is that only for the duty of Muhammad? Where do you draw the line? He says in Quran 3:28, Muslims must not take the infidels as friends. So if you work in an office environment, if you go to school, you look at Muslims, you see who they associate with. Oh, we believe in Western values. Really? You look who Muslims associate with before you bite into their rhetoric. They try to Islamify you. They try to groom you into the Mohammed consciousness. You look like a werewolf. You look ugly. No, but you feel sick. Horrible. And Abdullah Yusuf Ali. Abdul. I said, what's all this nonsense? I remember this black guy who became a Muslim, and all he did all day, no, shh. God is my cat. No. Right? All day, that's all he did. All day long. Pulling his beard. Almost like that became his identity. Like he's thinking, he had no brain. If he was thinking, he wouldn't be a Muslim. It was like this whole day, thinking, pulling his beard. There's nothing more sickening than when you see people all looking like an Arab from the 7th century. In Quran 47:4, it says, do not hanker for peace. Look, I'm not making it up. I dare a Muslim to come on Islam line. In Quran 47:4, it says, do not hanker for peace with the infidels. Behead them. Kill them. Behead them. The Manchester terrorism, the London bombing, the 9/11, if that wasn't orchestrated by Bush, but 9/11, all the terrorism around the world. Quran 47:4. Do not hanker for peace, but behead them. Behead them. Do not hanker for peace. Now please explain to me, why is it that Muhammad, when it comes to 7th century, he's totally different to you? I must have a beard like Muhammad. I must pray like Muhammad, bow down like Muhammad. Muhammad had a 6-year-old wife. Can I marry your daughter? When does following Muhammad cease in this modern age? Where do you draw the line? Or do you pick and choose at the Quran what you want, and pick and choose at Muslim culture, Arabian culture, Persian culture, Babylonian culture, Ishmael culture, when it suits your purpose? Which part of Muhammad should I follow? Should I get a 6-year-old bride? Should I go and kill the infidels? Or are you better than Muhammad? Are you holier than Muhammad? Let's talk, let's reason. Which part of the Quran should I follow? Because this week I'm dedicating to exploring Islam. I want to understand me. I want to be a Muslim. Help me be a Muslim. Help me, please. I want to be a good man. I want to be a Muslim. Help me. I want to be a Muslim. Convince me. Convince me. You say, oh no, don't look at the Quran. Go to the Imam. No, the Imam's not good enough. When I destroy the Imam, he's not good enough. Go to Arabia. Go Turkey. That's what the true Quran is, in Arabic, which no Muslim can read. This is a game they play. But that's for this week. Destroying the Quran, that's for this week. I want to be a Muslim. Help me. I want to be a good Muslim. I want to have a beard and look ugly. Tell me, which part of Muhammad should I follow, or which one shouldn't? Can I have a 6-year-old wife? Can I? Can I live in the West and have 4 wives? How can you be a Mohammedan in Britain and America and France? How can you? Muhammad says have up to 4 wives. Have up to 4 wives. Sounds lovely. Up to 4 wives. Maybe I should be a Muslim. 4 wives. But it wouldn't work in the West. I'd get arrested. Your Honor, I'm a Muslim. Who can I damn? I'd get arrested. Put me in handcuffs. it wouldn't work in the West. So which part? Which part of the Quran, in attribute and characteristic of Muhammad and dress code of Muhammad should I follow? Should I wear camel clothes? Look, all this week I want to look at the Quran and Muhammad, and you must convince me which aspect should I follow from him. So far, I must speak like him. When I say my Shahada, I must go through his name, not to God Almighty. I have to say Muhammad first, like a Trinity. I can't go straight to God Almighty. Whee! Like Superman. I got to first pollute it with the name Muhammad in it. Why can't I pray to God without a dead man's bones? A man who's buried in Medina. Why do I gotta go for Muhammad? He's dead. Why can't I just go to God and pray? Why put Muhammad in it? Like he's God Almighty. I want to pray to God. I don't want to go for Muhammad, a person who's dead. I don't want to call myself Abdul and Muhammad, Arab slave names. So jumping from one slave name to another. Is that intelligent? No, it's not intelligent. Do I wear camel clothes? Do I marry a 6-year-old girl? Do I go and kill people? Please come and dialogue. You know what Muslims do? They send you stupid links on, understanding Islam. And when I go over there, the same question remains. The Quranic text, which is violent, the Muhammad, who's violent, a warmonger, had a 6-year-old wife. Deal with that. And you can't deal with it. Help me. I want to be a good Muslim. I want to convert. Make sense, please. My mind is open like fertile soil. Come on, brainwash me. See what you can do. Come on. Look, there's people in Britain and America, they're all becoming Muslims. Please, you all died for me to convert. Come on, please. The challenge is on. The challenge is on to any Muslim. 10 grand. 10. Where's my checkbook? Where's my checkbook? Hey, look, this is a legal contract. A legal contract. Any lawyers listening? Any lawyers? Any lawyers? Any Muslim out there that can make sense of the Quran, the Hadith, and Bukhari, I'll give 10 grand. I hope there's lawyers listening, lawyers, or Muslim lawyers, or scholarly lawyers from Europe. Please, this is a contract. Any Muslim that can make sense of the Bukhari, the Quran, and the Hadith. Believe me, I'll be a Muslim. I'll be a Muslim straight away. No messing around. I'll forfeit my salvation. I'll forfeit my salvation and truth and follow your lies. Come and debate me. This week is going to be hot. Extra hot. Oh, do you think I bought the dishes hot? Wait, gonna hang around.